Hello Pisces, as you can tell, we have the presence of entities. I told you, like this portal kind of like allowed things in and they're all positive. Well, in any case, they're going to be the messages that you probably need to tend to in order to kind of like wrap up this year and push forward the next year. My apologies for the noise in the background. It was going on yesterday whole day. I just realized I have to keep moving and I have to give you this, and hopefully I managed to minimize this. So, what are the messages for Pisces? And by the way, guys, please order your annual taroscopes, because I'm also doing them during this portal opening. And so hence the messages are going to be so freaking fantastic. This is Grand Tableau. Grand Tableau will eventually be available to be ordered on my website. For now, I am offering this through the other readings, and I'm doing Lenormand only upright. For now, I tried to do it reversals, but it didn't sit well with me. I get really good information this way. Actually, I'm getting way better information this way, so that's why I kind of like abandoned, because it was like, oh my god, what's this? Does this mean this way? Does this mean the ship will sink? Anyways, nice thoughts. Both gentleman and the lady is in the first row, which is really good. So depending which significator are you, it's really telling me that maybe there were some health issues, or health issues need to kind of like be looked upon. Maybe relationship, something from the past that hasn't been healthy. Maybe this is Mercury retrograde that you're going through and looking at it, reassessing it, wondering how to quote unquote attack it, how to approach the issue. Because look at that. Some of you, I think, have been involved in a third party situation. Right? Look at this. We have the Rider, the Snake, and the Heart. Maybe you're moving on your journey. Maybe some of you are even moving residences. Some of you, and I want to hear from those of you who that's the case, are even moving overseas, moving in a completely different area of the country, or maybe even in a different country. That possibility is very, very clear over here. So, let's see, what else do we have? Also, some of you are kind of like wondering, you have like these birds in the house of a coffin, and that kind of like puzzles me, because birds is generally about wisdom, and it's also about communication. And maybe you decided you are dead to me. I don't bother anymore, and I'm moving forward, because there's like something that is really well aspected here. This is the only thing that bothers me, that the snake is in your line, right? And also the snake and you are meeting here in the clover area here. So I don't know, maybe some of you have been in therapy, guys. Maybe, you felt that you are using language and vocabulary, and that language absorbed kind of like into your system that is really not helping. Maybe now you're really looking into kind of like maybe finding different wordings. Like words have powers, right? That's why we do not like swear words. And if you have a reader that actually uses those, and I do it at times, very rarely, but sometimes it really upsets me. I apologize, but this is really not the way, you need to transfer the messages to anybody, because you are not supposed to poison their food when you're giving them messages, right? So for some reason, communication with someone is going to stop within, I would say, a couple of months, kind of like you're done with certain things. I feel that some of you have been going through cunning period. Some of you had partners that had their own karma. Maybe you have dealt with a partner who have chosen to deal what priorities are to them in spite of the promises to you, such as maybe they felt that a family member or child or or sex is more important than anything else. They also kind of like, I see, chose money, but they had issues with money. So hence, you know, this Maslow hierarchy of needs. The base one is that survival. The base one is like, what do I do? And whenever somebody has to deal with that, that's why I always say to my clients, do not please date somebody who's separated, or somebody who is in a legal process, or somebody who, you know, maybe owes money, because it's going to be a problem. This person is really talking about his basics, and they're not able to go to that fourth level, that fourth chakra, where they need to meet you. I also see that you have given quite a bit of importance to that partner, I think, and it kind of like really, as I said, started to be unhealthy. Some of you maybe have been, I don't know, maybe even married to this partner, but others, others have been that third wheel, or that secret, that freaking sweet secret, let's put it that way, right? As I said, you guys be doing lots of travel. Look at this. You have the stork, you have the birds, you have the ship, and then you have a rider. Like pretty much everything. So the house is here. It's maybe you're like moving this freaking snake out to the house. The snake is knighting this house, and you are meeting there as well. So it's really telling me that you're abandoning some situation, which is great. That situation that you have been in did not really work. It just like was no freaking way it kind of like would continue. Now, you also, at the very least, if this is not a third party situation, you have somebody who has ridiculous amounts of gossip. And maybe this is what it means. You're going to cut it in the butt. I'm going to say, what are you talking about me? You need to put out or shut up. So let's talk about it this way, because somebody is really undermining your efforts. So it's going to be around January the 12th that there are going to be some decisions that you guys will be making, and it's coming in very, very strongly. But I also feel that this month, so in 1 day from when you're hearing this, and 7 days from when you're hearing this, in 24 days when you're hearing this, and in 32 days from when you're hearing this, there'll be some very important changes, and that person that is undermining you might show up. So the person, that snake over here, mind you also have the fox, and look at this, like two of them are knighting. It almost like it feels like the two people kind of like had that some strategy against you. Well, guys, that can also be at work, because I see the fox, I see the tower. It's like something where you really felt comfortable. Some of you I do see looking for a job. This also can mean getting a job. The good news is like you're in a really good situation. And that snake, as much as she is doing lots of crapola, she also gets lots of lucky breaks. You know, you get the clover, like, I mean, you do night bouquet as well, but so does she. And this dude, if you're asking about him, is really relying a lot on, let's call it destiny, let's call it a luck. So he's like flying by the seat of his pants over here. So guys, this Lenormand reading is just to give you messages for what you need to wrap up and where you are going in 2020, and maybe even how you're going to set the stage for the entire decade. It is kind of like really interesting also that you have the heart, which is knighting the clover, and the clover is in the house of the heart, in the house of the lilies. You see, lilies are really talking about the past, and you see it may be past engagement with this person. Maybe it was like, a rocky road kind of a thing. Maybe there were issues of some sort. Maybe the person has been married, right? And the person really also didn't know where to go. Look what this person has, like they have a child. So it was maybe dedication to new beginning. As maybe I said, maybe you have been let down the garden path. Maybe people wake up in the morning, oh, I'm quitting smoking today, and such a great day. Hour later, they have cigarette in their mouth, puffing, oh, tomorrow is another day. That's how it goes. It's not them, it's all of us that we have that issue. So this is kind of like, good to acknowledge, but it's really hard when this kind of like affects your heart. So when the heart falls into the house of lilies, it kind of like talks about something from the past resurfacing. And this is, like, as I said, happening to you from the time of you hearing this within 32 days. You might not know exactly what. Like if, for example, when you're like being trained in ESP and all the psychic flashes, and distant viewing or remote viewing, like people say, well, how come you didn't know that? Like, it's not that I see clearly. I don't see a picture like this. I would see flashes. It almost looks like you're in a huge fog, and you can like try to move this fog and you see a roof. So I don't know, like, they tested me and I was like doing, what are you seeing, what they're seeing? I said, I don't know, I'm seeing a rooftop. It looks like a red rooftop. That's all I could imagine and translate it. And the problem is, like, I'm still attaching words. So maybe you will not equally be able to touch words. But in my picture, it was like a tower with a red kind of like top. You see, it's kind of like, it's really interesting how, because to me, red on the top and it looks like a building, must be roof, right? So do not take things exactly as maybe you would. Very, very important to kind of like realize that process over here. So there is like something almost like that looks like a completely new career in the next year. There's like something that has been a burden, and it could have been linked to some kind of paperwork. It could be linked to legal processes. It could be linked to some kind of settlement. And it is like time to move forward. But moving forward is not going to be seamless. It's not going to be smooth. You still guys will be dealing with, I don't know, other people wanting a piece of that action if you really wish. If you really want a little bit insight about your, let's say, adversary here, or your opponent or your rival over here, even though this person is lucky, this person is also fishing, right? Like, you are not fishing. I think you really are going, and maybe you're feeling the snake is in the house. Maybe some of you are feeling that literally, somebody left a lipstick, or there's like something odd, you didn't leave it. It's going to be something like that happening, like something around Christmas time, I would say. Just before Christmas, that's where I'm picking up. Or you will hear something of that kind. So it's going to be really good for you to keep an eye on that, right? So, but at the same time, guys, like, Christmas is going to be a really good time for you. It might be a promotion time. It might be, hey, I'm moving into something, or you're setting some kind of like goals to where you'll be going towards springtime. It's going to be really flexibility, and it's going to really feel like transformation, right? So, at the very least, guys, you'll be doing renovations. It's going to be something that you're going to start figuring out, well, I I really kind of like want to change this room, or you need to put this like new life into everything. So I'm seeing you moving furniture, wallpapers in some cases, like, I mean, or just removing that freaking wall you didn't like, right? For some of you, this would mean going to the next stages of a relationship, or really needing to make a change. If there is no relationship right now, if you're single, well, then you will need to look different ways of meeting your mate. It's going to be really, really important. So guys, looks like you're redefining yourself. You're going in a new direction. Good for you guys. Hopefully these messages find you well. Hopefully this makes sense. You are picking up on what the message you need to receive, because I got them so freaking many. Lastly, guys, or again, please order my annuals. They're going to give you more insight into what's going on. Lenormand is part of that insight, so that's going to help. Okay, my dear Pisces, you know that I love you. Until the next time, wish you all the best.